Have you ever wondered what goes bump in the night? What could be lurking round the corner? What shadows are waiting for us in the dark? Why we feel like we are being watched by the mysterious eyes of an unknown entity? When all rational explanations have been exhausted, it only leaves one explanation: the paranormal. Take a journey into the realm of the paranormal with your hosts, Damon Penny and Ben Winfield. We explore all things paranormal, from mediums to apparitions, from orbs to the occult, from demons to angels, and everything in between. So strap in and join us as we explore into the unknown. And don't forget, things can get a little strange. The Other Dimension Show on Pulse Talk Radio.
Welcome to all the odds out there, and welcome onto the show this evening. It's The Other Dimension. We're here again, and I cannot believe we're back. We're back. The response to last week's show was absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough out there. The podcast went off the hook. The people listening in live last week, it was absolutely amazing. I'm so happy how the response that we've got from you guys is amazing. Now, if you do want to get live and interactive in the show tonight, all you have to do is one of two things. You either upload a status on Facebook with hashtag One Dimension, or Other Dimension. Why do I say One Dimension? Other Dimension. Or head over to facebook.com/TOD Paranormal and just literally post up there on the wall. It'll come straight to me inside the studio, and we will get your questions or your shout outs read out to you. Now, you know how we do here on the show. I am joined by my co-host, because no paranormal chat show superhero is the same without a co-host. Now, some say that this guy actually played Duck Duck Goose with the hierarchy of demonics. It is the one and only Mr. Ben Winfield. Ben, welcome along.
You're going to have to warn me about it. Laughing me head off.
Now, Ben is showing his pure dedication tonight, because he's actually at a birthday party, but he's managed to get himself outside, and he's going to be doing the show from outside. So big up yourself for your dedication.
Yeah, man. I've got to do, just before I start, I have to do a shout out. It's a rare moment for me. To my work colleague, Liam Wright, who was listening the other week and couldn't determine if it was me or not. So, yes, Liam, it is me doing the radio station.
Joe, it's funny because people sort of like hear you on radio and they're like, no, it ain't you. That can't be you. You're just an average guy.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about true demonic stories, or true negative entity stories that both me and Ben have been a part of. I thought it'd be great just to sort of get you guys to know what we've been through and where we're at the moment. So we've got some true stories for you tonight. Now, Ben, you wanted to start it off with one specific story. So I'll hand it over to you.
I come across a story while in my studies. It is also, I've managed to find it also in one of the book sites, and it's about a possession that happened with 127 demons possessing a young lady's soul.
Wow.
Now that sounds like normal in a sense to anyone's list when they know the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
However, this was in a place called Burton-on-Trent, Derby. For those of you over in the States that are listening, where else?
Yeah.
Now she claimed her grandmother gave her this apple that had these 127 demons embedded.
Inside an apple?
Inside an apple.
What?
Yeah. Work that one out, because I've been trying to work that out since I read the story.
Well, I know that apple pips are contained, they have like cyanide on the outside, so they're dangerous, but I never heard of demons infesting them.
Yeah, that was the story at the time. That was, I think it was 15, either 1500 or 16. I can't fully remember, but I thought that might be an interesting one for you.
Oh, definitely. I mean, what happened to the apple? Did they eat the apple and become possessed?
No one actually knows. It wasn't in the details. You just assume that the child ate the apple, and that's how it went from there. But it's a unique one. However, there is another one underneath that I found, which a young gentleman in the village murdered his wife because a dog told him to. The dog claimed to be the devil.
Mad.
Now, anyone that's into their mysteries, like murder mysteries, stuff like that, will know that there's a case of that in America by quite a famous person who went on a murderous rampage, claiming his next door neighbour was the devil in dog form.
Right.
So I thought that one might,
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Mad. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not got anything to top that. But to be honest with you, right, I had this case once. It was literally, the crazy thing about it was down the road from where I live, and this woman had reported of waking up during the night, and she had sand in her bed, and it sort of progressed from there. She was suffering from depression. She kept seeing massive shadows, and we was investigating there one night, like my old team, True's Paranormal, and we come across. We was upstairs doing like we do the hotspot walk around where you go and find the hotspots that have happened and stuff like that. And downstairs, you just heard. We come running downstairs. Bear in mind, no one was downstairs. Front door was locked, back door was locked, and the chairs. She had like a 6-seater dining room table, and all the chairs had been stacked up on top of this table, to the point where it had wedged itself under the ceiling, where it took about 4 of us to get it out. Now that freaked me out.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got a good picture of it actually. I'll see if I can get a picture uploaded onto the Other Dimension Facebook page of the spirit we call there. We call him the spirit of Batman because he looked like Batman. He was like 7 foot tall, and it was just like this massive cloaked shadow. And it was just mental. It was mental.
Did he have his own theme song for coming in there? I've just got like I've got the Del Boy image in my head now.
Yeah. Demon.
Yeah.
Oh mate. Have you ever been to a case and it's stuck out in your head? Like one that actually is stuck out in your head?
I've had a few, to be honest. I've had one before where I've picked up and thrown across a room and then thrown downstairs, which was interesting.
And you survived?
Yeah, I just did the stupid thing, brushed myself off, and ran straight back into the same room. Anyone that's ever been on investigations with will know that as soon as something happens, instead of standing still or running the opposite direction, I tend to run towards it.
I think that's like a occupational hazard being an investigator or a demonologist or an occultologist. You hear a big noise in a room, most people run, you sort of run towards it, do you know what I mean?
I think it's pure stupidity, man.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
You gotta like stick it up. You gotta like stick it up.
Yeah, you have to.
So what happened in this case when you got thrown?
I got launched downstairs and then picked back up. It's all right, I'm on a radio show at the minute. It's all right, I'm sat in town, I've got the bike there, people wanting photographs from my bike. I'm sat doing a radio station with you lot.
Well, big shouts out to everyone at the birthday party. It's good to see everyone out, not social distancing. It's great.
Yeah, I think there's only me in a sense that kind of is.
Well, I tell you what, I had a case once. Actually, it was me and my partner. We was at a place called Cash's Wells in Essex, and when we first turned up there, we all had our radios on and that. And as we walked in to this sort of forest, there was just like witches' laughter. And then we had things chucked at us and giant shadows. It was mental. Absolutely mental.
It always seems to be a regular occurrence of hearing witches' laughs in woods.
Yeah.
I've just sort of started noticing it more because we've gone back to them sort of stuff. It's okay. It's something I seem to have noticed again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you go out on cases, I mean, I've noticed a lot with demon cases. I've got one going on at the moment. The laughing and the sort of ridicule towards the person who's having that seems to be a massive thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is a lot of people won't get all details when it comes to cases. First off, they tend to like vilify the person straight away.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a black side of the paranormal world, in a sense. Instead of offering to help, they go straight for we'll just use this person. They're making it up.
It is crazy, and you do pick up on these sort of things that are quite similar in demonic and negative cases. I mean, look at the one we was dealing with the other day. That was like a recipe of all the greatest demonic cases that have ever existed, all put into one.
Along with a few TV shows.
Yeah. It's just like, wow. But I tell you what, right? I've got one story that I want to tell the listeners out there. So I call you the odds, right? The listeners that listen to our show, they're called the odds, right? Yeah. Or the ODs. You know, you get OGs. They are the ODs. So, but I want to tell you guys, if you haven't heard this story before, it's how I got into demonology. Now, anybody who's an investigator there must have heard of Harwich Redoubt Fort, which is down there in Harwich. It was like a hexagonal fort. Built as a fortification in case any of the Nazis sort of come up the Thames estuary. Now, in this place was built before World War One, but it was sort of modified, and it's got 3 haunted cells. Now, the furthest cell from the entrance of the cell house, it's massive, it's like a railway arch. It's got like bricks at the top, and then you've got like this bed, and we was drawing straws that night to see who was going to spend the time alone in this sort of haunted cell. So I thought, right, we'll draw straws. And knowing my luck, I drew the short straw with a medium called Paul. Now, we're in this thing, and we're about 15 minutes in. And when I mean it's pitch black, it is literally like your eyes are struggling to focus where it's that dark. And it was like Jesus Christ, I'm really, really pooping myself right now. But we can hear this like sort of... Ben, have you seen The Grudge?
Yes. Which one? Because I've seen the Korean version.
Yeah, no, do you know the noise that the girl makes?
Yeah.
That... like that, right?
Yeah.
I could hear it reverberating in this room, and I'd already seen The Grudge at this time, and I was like, "What the hell, Jesus!"
Just to clear that thing up, the Korean version isn't going to be some dodgy like porno version. It is Korean. Just to clear this up, Koreans do make the best horror thing.
Yeah.
Really, really do make some
I don't doubt that. No, yeah, it's not like some human centipede thing, so yeah, it's all good.
No, they make some. Put it this way, they've made films where I've not been able to sleep after.
Right, so I'm in this haunted cell, right? So I'm trying to build the picture of suspense here. So I'm hearing this grudge noise, and I look in like the top of this railway arch. And these 2 purple I say eyes. I sort of jumped to conclusions and when it was eyes, but it was 2 purple dots.
Yeah.
And they were slowly making their way around the top of this like domed roof. And the medium I was with, he was seeing it, but he was panicking because he could see it through his human eyes, not his third eye.
Yeah.
And I can see it as well. And I'm like, he's panicking, so I'm trying to calm him down, but it's getting closer and closer and closer. Now, as it comes down the wall, you can see this shape of... Only thing I can describe... It's giving me goosebumps talking about it now. But the only way I can describe it was like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, with like these sort of half-chopped wings either side and these big bright purple eyes. And it's sort of doing this like weird spider crawl towards us, and the medium now is banging on the door because we got locked in. He's like banging, going, get me out. He's going, get me out of here. And this thing is just like staring at me in my eyes, and it's just doing that noise. And then in a second, gone. That's it.
I have heard of them talking.
But that's what got me into demonology.
It was the abyssal chicken. That's what it was.
Oh yeah. The mascot of the show, the abyssal chicken.
No,
I love
it's
the abyssal chicken.
Yeah, on a serious note, though, I have heard of them sort of things before.
Yeah, because the eye colour means something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Purple usually means immortality.
Purple's, sorry, what was that?
Purple's supposed to symbolise mortality.
Oh, okay.
But the problem we have is, this is where it gets one of the big misconceptions, just to go off on a random tangent. Immortality isn't a gift. It's, in the ancient world, it's considered a curse.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Nowadays,
can you imagine living for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
It's like nuts.
What I've found in cultology is you have two different types of immortality. You have what's known as a body immortality.
Yeah.
Which basically fixes you at that certain point in time. Or you have what's known as a soul immortality.
Oh, it's nuts.
Soul immortality is a little bit different to reincarnation. The difference being is you remember everything. So you remember how you die, you remember how you get reborn. So you're basically the same as like respawning in a game.
That's absolutely nuts. Can you imagine that?
I can imagine it being carnage, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like that age-old story of the... Do you know, like, people that have been damned to hell?
Yeah.
You demon playing in the background. That's a Carl Wise saying sounds all good. Just quickly, just to let all the Pulse listeners know that Pulse will soon be live on Mixcloud 24/7. So keep an eye on the Facebook page for updates on that. Like it's the age-old story of, do you know, the people that have been condemned to, do you know, like condemned to hell? You know, the guy that's got to push the rock up the hill, and then when it gets to the top of the hill, it goes down the other side, and he's got to keep doing that over and over and over again. It's like that sort of story, isn't it?
Damocles with the sword.
Yeah.
Always trying to drink, but if I remember correctly, he's always trying to drink. No, that's someone else. It's one of the 1,000 Greek myths of where immortality is placed on each person.
I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. But when we talk about demonic cases that we've been into, I mean, the thing that always stands out for me is the things that you don't expect. Do you know, like the whining in the head noises? What was the one that got me the other day? Because I'm dealing with a case at the moment. Shouts out to Jason Masters, an ongoing case that I've got. Really cool guy. He's like, I'm trying to think what he went through. He keeps shaking. He's constantly shaking.
Sort of like yeah, sorry. Sort of a bit like withdrawals in a sense.
Yeah, but the thing is with him, he only gets it when like he's in a sermon, or if he hears some sort of religious dialect, he starts shaking.
Yeah, it's to make him feel uncomfortable around the situation so that he withdraws himself from it. It can usually be like a precursor to possession.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you know we was talking about, obviously tonight's all about demonic and negative cases.
Yeah.
What's, apart from being thrown, what's another one of yours that stands out in your mind?
It has to be one I did at the beginning of last year, correctly, either last year or this year.
Yeah.
I sent you the photos from that Wales case.
Oh yeah, I
The
know the one.
elderly lady. Yeah, that one that's still ongoing.
What, still now?
Still now, not as bad as it was, but we're still having the odd flare up. But that case really has stuck with me.
Oh, it's just mad.
I showed you the photos of her.
Yeah.
It's messy.
Mm.
It really is a messy case.
I mean, the photos that you sent me were compelling enough. They were like really, really crazy. Like the injuries that she sustained, the things that were happening to her. I mean, that would definitely stand out in my head.
Yeah, and the fact is that the object that was, say, imbued with the spirit or entity is still somewhere out there.
It's just nuts.
And that's what keeps this case in my head. I'm still worried about the fact that this is still out there.
What do you think it's going to come after you?
Oh, sure. Please, come after me. I'll make it a cup of tea.
And a slice of cake can't sell it.
No, we're up north, mate. It's scones up here.
Now, talking of cases, now this is one that me and you were personally involved in, but I wanted to bring this up, and I brought it up on the show yesterday. It's the case of, I don't know if you heard, Amanda Large Teague. She was the woman that married the 300-year-old Haitian pirate.
Yes, Mrs. Pirate.
Yeah, and I just want to read this. This is a snippet from the Washington Post, right? Yeah, I've got it in front of me.
Brilliant! Brilliant!
Yeah. Now, Amanda Large Teague was meditating the first time she says she met the ghost of a 300-year-old Haitian pirate. She thought he was rude to interrupt her solitude, so she told him to leave, then he showed up again. The third time he visited, Teague of Belfast said she decided to talk with him. Now, after she communicated with the ghost for several months, Teague said she'd become convinced he was Jack Teague, who she later claimed had inspired the character of Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, funny that.
Teague believes which fall under the umbrella of New Age spirituality, test the boundaries of what types of faith people are in, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Teague told Washington Post that she was started exploring spirituality after her 3-month-old son Thomas died in sudden infant death syndrome. So that's quite common, isn't it? People do turn to spirituality when something bad happens.
It is bad when that
happens.
You start to look for everything and then.
And then it says here, since Teague 46 went public in January 2018, so this went far long ago, with her marriage to Jack and later their separation, international news have expressed bewilderment of her choice of spouse.
Could you imagine trying to settle that in court, the divorce? Who would get what?
Yeah. I'm divorcing him. The only thing he's asked for in the settlement is the rum.
You couldn't.
Go on, mate.
You just couldn't. I'd just love to see a judge just sat there listening to it. It'd be brilliant.
100%. She says she's aware of some speculate. She's schizophrenic. But she said people around the world put their faith in seemingly unlikely stories every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that we all do have a tendency of putting our faith in politicians and they're magical creatures.
Honestly, I'm trying to find the bit in the post of the reason why they broke up, because Believe it or not,
Once he cheating and going out or something, he was.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he was cheating, going out and doing drugs.
yeah, that's the one. To all the odds out there that are locked in, basically what happened was they went on holiday for a second time, and he was never in, so she accused him of doing drugs and cheating on her with a spirit lady.
You just can't not laugh at this, can you?
Oh, it's just crazy. It's crazy. I mean, tonight we're talking about, like, you know, true demonic possessions and negative spirit things, but I thought I would bring that one into it because it's a story I read the other day, and it just sort of explains the extent of how the paranormal is today.
Yeah.
How people are very much influenced by what goes on today, and how the paranormal is more acceptable. Because you imagine, Ben, right? If this story would have come out 50, 60 years ago, this woman would have been electroconvulsed therapy, stuck in a straitjacket, in a white padded room, and left there for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
It's just
10
how
years
acceptable.
ago, you would have had
yeah.
10 years ago, it would have got you into a straitjacket.
100%. And these stories lead on to another subject that I want to talk about tonight. Is the how accepted the paranormal is nowadays. You know, it's when you look at like the TV now, like look at what's just been released. The Conjuring 3 film's just been released.
Yeah, that's come out, hasn't it?
Yeah.
To the depths.
And I remember stories of when The Exorcist were released where people were passing out in the cinema. You know?
Yeah, didn't they have doctors in the crowd for that?
Yeah, I heard that. They planted them in there because people were like literally like throwing up with fear and passing out. It's just mad.
It is mad that it's more acceptable.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was only the past. Sorry, mate. I think it's only past like 10 years where the law for black magic has been revoked in England.
The law for black magic?
Yeah, you can still technically get arrested for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm gonna get this right, but I was listening to a podcast about a case back in like 1957. Oh no!
Yep.
Do you know the Battersea Poltergeist case?
Yes.
Now,
yeah.
Yes, the girl from this is what it is. The girl from there, she went to this spiritist guy to have an exorcism, have the poltergeist pulled off her because they reckon it was attached. And when she was in there having this exorcism done, the police turned up and arrested all of them for black magic.
Yeah, like I say, you can still get done for it. There was a case in Leicester last year, I think, where they were performing an exorcism and the police turned up, escorted everyone out. That might have been the year before, actually.
So to clarify, if your exorcism is sanctioned by the Vatican, it's okay.
Yep.
But if you do it, so if you do it unsanctioned, then it's illegal in this country.
It's illegal if it breaks any of the laws which incur into imprisonment, starvation, batterment, and all that stuff.
Right. Okay.
So sitting around someone and praying, it's fine. But once you get onto like the other things that to do for obviously possessions and stuff, you are starting to look into criminal.
That makes sense. That does make sense. Right, so I've got a quick jingle we need to play. Shouts out to Carl. We're going to play this quick jingle. When we come back on the other side, we're going to be talking about the state of the paranormal nowadays, what's acceptable, what's unacceptable, how it's changed. Right, you ready for this?
Yeah. Cool.
Right, let's go for it.
Pulse Talk Radio, the place to come for talk shows about the paranormal. Sponsored by the Psychic Clinic. Empowering empowering self-healing. ThePsychicClinic.com.
Damon Penny and Ben Winfield, The Other Dimension Show, only on Pulse Talk Radio.
Alright, and we are back on the other side. Now, Ben, I want to talk about the way the paranormal has changed itself, whether we're talking ghosts, whether we're talking cryptoids, whether we're talking UFOs, aliens and that. Now, I started investigating as an investigator about 13, 14 years ago, and back then, like, it wasn't something you go home and tell your parents that you're doing, even though my parents were involved. But
Jesus Christ, I kept it quiet. Well, I've kept it quiet from my mum till last week.
Oh yeah, do you know what, Ben? Big shouts out to your mum if she's locked in, because I felt a great amount of joy of what happened between you and your mum after last week's show.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. My mum, after I've been doing it for what since I was 16, I'm now 31, and I've been doing it since then. And for my mum to actually sit down in front of me and ask me how Ouija boards work, it's quite an interesting conversation on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon even.
Oh, but it's just great. This is what I mean. This is a prime example of how things are changing, right? So, I spoke to you about that film Dibber Box, right? That's all about these YouTube trends on Dibber Boxes, where this guy goes out, he buys a Dibber box, he opens it up, but he buys it off the dark web, opens it up, and then documents everything that happens. Now, this wouldn't happen 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. There are YouTubers out there, and I need to get a jingle for this, right? Because this is one of them Damon rants, right? And it bugs the crap out of me.
Isn't that what we're having for every show now? A Damon rant moment?
I think we're going to have a part of the show called the Damon rant. Because honestly, mate, do you know, like, when someone rubs their fingernails on a blackboard? That's how this certain thing gets me. Now, I'm a dad of 5. My eldest daughter is 11. My next daughter down's 8, and they watch YouTube. Right, so out to all the YouTubers out there that are doing things properly. Now, one of the certain YouTubers that they watch thought it would be a great idea to film themselves with a homemade Ouija board trying to contact demons. Now, this makes my blood boil, because this is teaching the youth of today to be able to go out there and make their own Ouija board and create more cases for people like me and you. It literally makes me want to smash these people in the face. Simple as.
It's bad teaching.
It is.
That's the problem. I give a shout out to a group which I a full credit to, which is Brooks Paranormal. I think you've got Linda on next week.
I'm hoping to have Linda on next week. Hoping to.
Full credit to her daughter, who is very young, and she is being taught brilliantly. And I think last time I checked, I spoke to Linda, she was on about setting something up for training with like preteens and like teenagers on how to approach the paranormal world.
And so, do you know what? I will back that 100.
Not all groups are lost.
No.
Also, shout out to sort of our team, the team that me and Lou work with. They're all youngsters. They are not afraid to ask us lot for help and understanding. They are happy to learn. I think this is one of the problems with the paranormal world, is some people are not happy to learn, which causes a lot of this problem. They just want the fame. They just want to. They've seen how the paranormal world is famous, etc.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what I'm saying. This is the point I'm trying to get across. Anybody out there that goes and watches YouTube and thinks it's okay to copy what these people are doing, actually look into what they're doing and see if they're actually doing things properly. Because as much as I sit here and you people go, well, you're on a radio show and you was doing live streams and you was doing this, I know what I'm doing, and I wouldn't be saying stuff like that if I didn't know what I was doing. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to come on to a live radio show if I didn't know what I was doing. But these people on YouTube, they haven't got an idea. This is ridiculous.
The difference is we've studied for years.
And
years. Been recognised by higher up people and stuff like that for what we do.
Exactly.
That's the difference. I've always said I'm willing to teach people. And the problem is nowadays you get a lot of them saying, well, how much are you charging? I've always been taught that knowledge should be passed freely.
100% knowledge. And you know what? Passing knowledge is all about. Passing knowledge is the old school way. Through teaching, through stories, through guidance. Not through poxy YouTube videos of someone who's trying to get some money from getting likes and subscribers on their channel.
I could make, like you said at the beginning of the show, I'm currently out in Derby in a pub. I could make a divot box sat here and sell it on YouTube for 100 quid.
Yeah.
I could easily do that.
I mean, me and you have come across cases where people have bought ancient relics that are complete fakes.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that go off at mediums going, they generate false hope, they cold read. Now, I've got a lot of friends who are mediums, and I'll shout them all out now, the ones that I know are really good at their job. People like Kathy Adams, people like Sam Pert, people like Kay Maloney, people like Cameron Frey. These people are good at what they do, and it's proven. Yeah. And you have these people going, mediums are just generating false hope, mediums are just trying to make money, mediums are trying to do this, and then they'll go on YouTube and they'll sell a fake Ouija board or a fake relic, or like you said, a dibber box.
Yeah.
And
I've always said this to people: if you live in the UK or you fancy a trip, you want to see a real divot box, there is a place in Nottingham called the Nottingham Haunted Museum. They have one there, and I can verify that it is the real thing because I know where that box has come from. The gentleman that brought the box had to go over to Romania to fetch it. It is now chained down with text to a desk. You cannot get at that box. You can go up to it, but I think there's an advisory saying touch it at your own risk. The company will not be held responsible for blah 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 blah. But that divot box, I have tracked back where he got it, and I can tell you now 100% that divot box that predates the stuff you see and the things that people say about divot box. I think this one's from, if I remember correctly, I think it's from the 17 or the 1600s.
Right, okay.
People think that these things started in the Holocaust. They've not. They've been around thousands of years.
Yeah.
This used to be tactical warfare in the Middle East.
Right.
That's where your story of the genie in a bottle comes from.
Right, yeah, I'm with you now.
You would send cursed objects to your opponent if you want to take over a kingdom, to curse their kingdom, or so you could take it. You'd enslave a jinn to do it for you, and when you go over there, you free the jinn.
So that's like the whole Aladdin thing.
Yeah, a lot of people think these divot boxes started during World War II. Yeah, you could say that's where they did become a more common thing. But I think it was from a film that made them a more common thing.
Right.
So again, this is paranormal field reacting to popular culture in a sense.
Yeah.
You make a film, then all of a sudden popular culture goes off it, and then paranormal people that are new to the field, that don't research, don't study, suddenly find themselves washed along with that current, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
It's only when they start studying and looking at previous cases they can manage to drag themselves back out and realise there's a massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And you can't talk about popularisation of the paranormal field without mentioning two famous TV shows. One being Most Haunted and the other being Ghost Adventures.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. Love Most Haunted. Love Ghost Adventures. Most Haunted is the reason I took my interest in spirit and the paranormal and went out and investigated, because I've been interested in it for years. But with Most Haunted, it started the trend of paranormal teams. And the problem with the trend starting was it was people that had a bit of money to buy cameras, to buy EVP recorders and thermal imaging guns, and just going out there and investigating, and it just turning up this evidence that's complete and utter dog muck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of the problem. To massively upset people. I get the same problem. I get the same problem with orbs. Anything could be an orb.
Yeah.
And a lot of people rely on that as evidence. They won't go through the rest of the evidence. Once they get an orb, they're finished. They've done. They've got their evidence.
Yeah, 100%. We and you've had this discussion like hundreds of times. Where you turn around and said, like, and your theory makes perfect sense to me. Now, if you think about it, Ben's theory is a spirit is its own energy. It's its own electromagnetic energy. So if something is generating energy and it shows itself in light form, it's going to pulse. Excuse the pun, because of the radio station we're on. It's going to, it's going to pulse. Yeah. Now, I had a paranormal photographer on my old shows, the Demonologist UK, which is no longer going on, but you can go and watch the interview with Ames Slaney, who is a paranormal photographer, and she actually turned around and said, "What's your take on orbs, Ames? What's your take on orbs?" And she said, "Go and read the instructions for the cameras that these people are using. It actually says in the instruction manual that these cameras do emit orbs, and they are dust."
Yeah.
So there you have it. That's my take on it anyway.
No, it is. If you look back in history on the development of the camera, orbs didn't start being seen until I think the early 20s, about early 2000s.
Yeah.
When we went to sort of digital cameras. It's one of those things.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I am so down with your theory. I've actually called it the Benmon theory because I back it up 100%. But yeah, no, I'm 100% down with that, man. If you're talking about an entity that generates its own electromagnetic field, it's gonna emit light in a pulse, 100%.
Yeah.
Now,
it will pulsate.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not gonna be white light. I mean, when lightning hits, it's blue or green or this. I mean, energy in itself emits in different colour forms. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could probably get white pulsating light. I mean, I'm not completely ruling out everything right now. I've seen orbs that are unexplainable, that I know are not dust. Like that thing you showed me on Facebook the other day, like that sky worm thing.
this sky worms or sky rods.
Yeah. Now, people rule that off as an orb. I mean, looking at that picture, and I'll tell you what I'll do. Anybody that's locked in tonight, any of the odds that are locked in, when we finish, I'm going to upload that onto the Other Dimension Facebook page. So if you want to see that, facebook.com/TOD Paranormal. I'm going to upload it on there, and I want you guys to give me your take on this skyworm, because that to me isn't an orb.
Yeah. You can tell the difference. An orb's usually a couple of mil long. These as scientists classify that bugs, in a sense, are anywhere from 3 inches to 8 inches long.
Yeah. I mean, I'm convinced I've seen one of these before. I swear to God, I've seen one of these before. And they're visible to the naked eye, aren't they?
They are, yes.
That's the
You
thing.
can easily pick them up on digital cameras.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You'll go into a room, and it's like dusty as hell. Your eyes pick up nothing. But you flash that camera, and you've got orb here. And it's like, these skyworms, you can see with your naked eye.
Yeah.
So it's not just a phenomena created digitally by equipment that was not designed to look for the paranormal. You see what I mean?
No, it's a thing that recorded it. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. That is the difference. Now, we've sat here and we've gone through the cons of how the paranormal has changed. We need to look at the pros. Now, the main pro for me is sharing data, being able to do live streams, being able to do what we're doing right now, sharing knowledge on a platform where people can come along and are willing to learn. And like I said before, the age-old story of sharing knowledge from experiences, from stories, and from other people. And that's how we started our journey. Do you know what I mean? Last year, September, me and you got chatting, and now look what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You dragged me out of the Stone Age.
Yeah, definitely dragged you out of the Stone Age.
With my abacus in one hand and my tablet and chisel in the other.
When I messaged Ben before the show, I have to go to him like, mate, well, what time are you going to pop on? He has to sit there and work out minutes and hours on his abacus, and then he tallies up on his stone and chisel, and then gives me a time in which it'll be there.
Yeah, I have to nip outside and look at the sky to work it all out.
You still got one of them watches, like sundial, on your wrist.
Jesus, no, I'm not that rich, mate. I have to use a blade of grass in my thumb.
Oh God, Joe! I saw something that reminded me of you the other day. Right, seriously, I saw something that reminded me of you the other day. I was watching Vikings on Amazon, and they've done this thing.
There we go.
Yeah, they've done this thing where they tried to find north with a light stone.
You mean the sunstone?
That's the one.
You see, you mock them, but scientists have actually proven their existence.
Yeah, no, I know they work. I'm not mocking them. I'm just saying I can imagine you getting in the car to come down and see Pop see me, and getting your bowl of water out, and getting your sunstone out.
I'm not at that band, mate. I just follow a homing pigeon.
Oh God.
I just attach myself to a swarm of homing pigeons.
Yeah,
out that way.
Ben's still got one of them wax seals.
Yeah. Wax tablet as well. Every time you want to delete something, you warm the wax up and let it remelt. So you know.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's how you know we're live, people. That's how you know we're live.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the pros of the paranormal, the way how it's advanced nowadays, we talk about, you know, the sharing of data and the live streaming. Now, when we talk about the tech, Do you think that the advancement in tech is a pro or a con?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
There is marvelous tech that has come on. I have to admit, there are some amazing bits of technology. However, people have also forgot to use their most basic technology they have with them, which is their eyes and their bloody ears.
Yes. Yes.
The best thing you can take on a paranormal investigation is a notepad and pen.
Mm-hmm.
Document stuff down. It's all right having all this technology, but if you don't document anything down, it becomes useless.
I feel like this opinion is slightly biased.
Well, prime example in the paranormal world, everything you take with you usually drains out.
Yeah.
Batteries usually drain off, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm still sticking with the pen and paper.
Yeah, Ben is like proper. We call him the librarian because he loves a book. Loves a book. I mean, when we talk about tech in the paranormal world, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I think it's a pro and a con.
Yeah.
I think the way that we're sort of changing our sort of advancements towards that, we're able to sort of focus a little bit more on certain areas. Like, for instance, I had a guy on my other show, Tom Warrington. You know Tom, don't you, Ben?
Yeah.
A really, really cool investigator, knows what he's talking about. He's got this new set of kit, and what it does is it maps out digital thermo readings in the atmosphere, and then it graphs it, and you can see like the different spikes that happen in the atmosphere. See, now this is when I'm talking about tech is a pro. Now, when we talk about tech, and when we talk about tech as a con, you can. I'm gonna get so trolled for this. App-based ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah, I have to admit that the idea is brilliant. It makes everything readily available there. But there's also a con because the programming is very limited on.
It doesn't work. Simples. It just doesn't.
It's a very limited programming system.
It just don't work. And I will openly sit here and I will take any troll on that decides to come at me on this. They do not work. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for anybody that wants to take me on.
It's gonna turn into fight night. Craig will be getting a new radio station for Damon's Fight Nights.
Yeah, we'll have a part
live
of the show.
After the other show.
I tell you what, right? This is how we're gonna play this. Yeah. Anyone that wants to come at me with the whole app-based ghost hunting technology works, I will fight them for charity. I will fight them for charity. Straight up. I will go like Bruce Lee meets Karl McGraw and anybody that wants to challenge me on this. They produce false positives. They do not work. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've heard evidence, and it's like, wow, that is amazing. But it's just coincidence.
Yeah, I'd always stick with EVPs more than that sort.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to admit one thing though. With you saying Bruce Lee, I suddenly had this vision of you dressed more like Kung Fu. It was a dog during the 80s. I can't remember the name of the cartoon.
Oh, Hong Kong Fooey.
That's the one. That's the image that was in my head more.
Oh mate, no, straight up, right? If anyone wants to come at me, I will fight them for charity. Straight up. I mean, I have a list of people that I want to fight for charity, and I'm happy to add them onto it, 100%. But I just don't think app-based ghost hunting technology works. What's the main one that everyone uses? What's it called? I'm trying to think.
I haven't got a clue, mate. I haven't got the technology.
Oh yeah. I mean, you still got.
I'm actually talking. Yeah, I'm actually talking to you now via smoke signals from Derby.
No, we just got 2 cups and a really long bit of string.
Anyone notices a single string running from the south to the north, to the Midlands in England? If you notice on the rail line, you'll see one single cord going all the way up.
Yeah, please do not break it, because I'm going to have to blame it on internet connection. At the end of the day, like, mate, I love the way the direction the paranormal's going. I love the way it's sort of so much more acceptable nowadays. I get told a lot, and this is another thing. I'm not going to have another rant, but it's another thing that really gets on my nerves, is demons are trending.
Yes, that is the problem. That is the problem. I think we might have to talk about this another night, but I'd have to say them bloody online courses are a nightmare.
Yeah, no, we'll get into this. We'll get into this.
They are the ones that proper grind me up.
Yes, 100%. Because the people that read them, they probably haven't read a book in their life to do with anything about demonology. I mean, they haven't read anything by M. Bollinger. They haven't read a grimoire. They've not even looked at the books of Enoch. So I doubt they know what the hell they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? But we're coming towards the end of the show now.
Yep, Carl be wanting us off again.
Yeah. But look, Ben, if you want to head off to the party, I can just shut up here and I'll finish it off if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm up for it, mate. I'm currently sat on my bike anyway outside the pub, so I'm happy.
I'm just going to let everybody know what's going to be happening next week. I'm hoping to have Linda Brooks on the show from Brooks Paranormal. We're going to be talking to her about her investigation processes, the stuff that she's learned along the way, and the events that she's got coming up. And then I'm hoping and praying the week after we can get Kay and Craig Maloney on the show. Kay and Craig do Kabbalistic mediumship. They do something called Lifting the Veil, and we're going to be talking to them about their approach to it all. And then I'm hoping the week after that, we're going to get Matrix Paranormal on. They're the young guys that Ben Dunn has won to watch last week. The guys that are sort of
Mystics.
Mystics. That's it. Mystics.
I thought my accent was bad.
We're hoping to get them on. Yeah, but they are hoping to get them on because we want to talk to them about their approach to the paranormal. Yeah. We've got some massive things lined up for this show. And don't forget, every Saturday, 9 till 10 p.m, we are going to be here for your entertainment. Yep. And maybe, just maybe, next week, Ben might not be tooted at down the road.
No, I will be on location in Edinburgh, getting ready to head into Edinburgh Vaults for the night.
With Robbie.
Yes, so I will put some possible feeds up from that the following morning. If anyone is interested, I will put them up on the page for people to see.
Definitely.
Should be good.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. But listen, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank all the odds that have logged in. Don't forget, if you want any shouts out, anything, questions, anything you want us to talk about on the show, hit us up. Facebook.com/TOD Paranormal. Ben, I'm out of here. You too?
Righto, buddy.
Take it easy. Take it easy, everyone. And just remember, if you can't understand what's going on, there's always the other dimension.
Thank you for joining us on on this journey into the world of the paranormal. Don't forget, if you missed the show, it will be available on our podcast. Just search The Other Dimension wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If you have any questions about the show, or you wish to contact the show with your own experiences, just head over to the Facebook group at www.facebook.com/TOD Paranormal.